In this video, we're loading up and going to the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The first thing we saw when we walked into the door is this 36 Ford Phaeton. Now this is a pretty cool traditional style hot rod. You can see it's got a flathead V8 with aluminum cylinder heads, multiple carburetors. It's got bias ply Firestone tires, steel wheels, and a nice stance. But the real wow factor with this car comes in its previous ownership, as this thing was once owned by Fireball Roberts, famous NASCAR racer who ultimately passed away, but he had this car many years ago, and now it's standing tall here at the World of Wheels. Now this one is not standing tall. This heavily chopped and heavily channeled Model A two-door sedan is sitting right on the ground. This thing has some big old wire wheels on it, big, tall, skinny tires, and then up here in the front, it's got a flathead V8, aluminum cylinder heads, 3 Stromberg carburetors, and open headers. This is a really tastefully done build. It's got sort of rat rod styling with some very nice show car details. One of my favorite cars in the whole place was this 1973 Plymouth Barracuda. It's in lemon twist yellow. It's got black stripes, black vinyl roof, and of course it's got those 440 markings, and it has a 440 under the hood. It's got a shaker scoop. It's got all the right pieces for a killer day 2 muscle car. The cool part about it is Clay King bought this car more than 35 years ago, and he's been drag racing it and showing it off ever since. It's had a lot of different setups in it, and it currently has this really cool day 2 tire and wheel setup on it with skinny Kragers, bias ply tires, some bigger Kragers on the back, and M&H slicks. This has got a cool stance. It's got a cool story behind it. He's been drag racing this thing in Kentucky and all over the place for many years. One of the cool things to me is that it does have the 440 markings, and it has what started as a 440 under the hood, but it's now a 508 cubic inch combination by Fraley Racing Engines, and it has some aluminum cylinder heads on it. It's got a big Holley 950 CFM carburetor and a single plane intake, and this thing runs 1070s in the quarter mile. This thing is a cool combination. It's got a lot of good pieces under it. 8 3/4 rear end with 373 gears. It's got a 10-point cage by Tim Floyd. It's got a lot of great pieces, great history, and it's still street legal, so he can get out and cruise it, and he can take it to shows, and he can take it to the drag strip. Up next is a gasser. This is a 1940 Willis Coupe. It's got a 41 model front end on it. You can see that it tilts forward. And a lot of times these old drag cars would have a flimsy fiberglass front end, and obviously somebody has really worked over this front end because you can see that it's extremely straight and slick. But you can also see this is a modern interpretation of a gasser. It's got some street rod elements in here. It's got suicide doors, leather interior. You know, this is not what you'd consider a period correct car, but it definitely got a lot of attention. Stephen and Amy Farrow had a really cool exhibit here at the show, and this was to promote their drag strip, Brainerd Motorsports Park, right across the state line in Ringgold, Georgia. This is my home track, and this is the home track to everybody in the Chattanooga area, and they had some really cool stuff on display, including a very quick, supercharged, big block, rear engine dragster here. This is a highly competitive car in the Super Pro category at local bracket races, as well as some of the big money bracket races. And then there's 3 junior dragsters on display, and Brainerd Motorsports Park has a killer junior dragster program. They have specific events just for junior dragsters that pay out $5,000 and more. And then in the back of the booth is a 57 Chevy funny car. This is blown and injected, big block powered, and this thing is slick. This belongs to Craig Wagner, and it has a brand new body. It's slick, it's clean, and it looks like the old Tom Mongoose McEwen 57 Chevy funny car that ran back in the 80s. And it was definitely cool to see this thing with the body up. This is a great looking piece, and it got a lot of attention. But what's really cool about Craig Wagner is that his dad raced funny cars in the 1960s. So his dad raced up in the Midwest. He had a Camaro funny car. He actually had, even before that, a 65 Chevelle, back before they were even called funny cars. This guy has drag racing in his blood, and he's got a really cool piece here. Next up, we got a really cool lineup of second generation F-body cars. And we're starting out with this white with red interior 77 Camaro, and this thing looks like it came straight out of the 1980s. This thing has a cool stance. It's got those old school weld drag light wheels, and it's got a really nice warmed up 350 under the hood. Sitting next to it is a little more aggressive combination, but still street friendly. This is Robert Harvey's 1980 Camaro Z28. It's got a big cam in it, plenty of compression, single plane intake, an 850 carburetor, 410 gears out back, and it's got a real slick paint job with a cool stance. And sitting next to it is another 80 model Z28, this time owned by Tony and Dottie Blaylock. They're the second owners of this car and have owned it since '81. It has a blower on it and 2.4s. It's definitely a little more aggressive, but a very slick and clean car. And then finishing out this row is a '78 Pontiac Trans Am, another car with some great history in this area. This thing has been owned by its current owners since 1979. It's got a 1970 Pontiac 455 in it, and Tony Blaylock is responsible for the paint, which has been on there for a while. It's got some well drag-light wheels and a really good looking combination. You guys know I love drag cars, and this 69 Camaro Pro Mod is an absolute showpiece. This thing has a candy apple paint job that is beautifully done. You can see the airbrush work on the trim, the drip rails, and on the inside, I mean, it's just as nice in there. Super slick, lots of details. You can even see they've airbrushed the AC vents on the dash. This thing has tons of cool, slick details. And then up here on the front, they've got the front end off of it, so you can see that beautifully polished, huge blower and injector hat on a big block Chevy. You can see the giant stainless steel headers that have been polished. This thing is truly a showpiece built by Bob's Profab over in Middle Tennessee. Here's one for the Ford guys. We've got a GT 350, and this is the Hertz edition. So this was called the Hertz Rent-A-Racer. These things were famous because you could get them through a Hertz rental car dealership, and a lot of guys would take these things and go race them. But nowadays we see these cars as restored and priceless pieces of the Mustang legacy. These things are so cool because they have some cool components underneath. They had a special stripe package on the outside. They always had some cool wheels like these Magnum wheels with Goodyear white letter tires. All of this stuff was revolutionary stuff in the mid-1960s. I love a good rowdy street and strip car, and this second generation Camaro checks all the boxes for that. You can see that it's a little rough around the edges. It's not a polished show car, let's say, but it's got some neat pieces here. And then under the hood, which actually the hood lifts off of it, it's got a big block, and you'll check out those anodized Moroso valve covers and a matching air cleaner. This thing makes good horsepower and looks cool too. Now, I like old drag cars, but I can also appreciate a modern pro touring build, and this 70 model Chevelle is my favorite out of all the cars that were on hand at the World of Wheels. This thing has a killer twin turbo setup on a big block Chevy. You can see they've converted it to fuel injection, and it's got some really high-end fabrication on it. It has a great paint job, great color combination. It's sitting super low on the ground, and it's got a real nice interior too. This thing was kind of tucked over towards the back of the place. I feel like this one should have been front and center. And the winner for the creepiest setup goes to this 63 Corvette Coupe. Now the car itself is real slick. It's got a nice paint job, cool stance, good wheel combination, LS motor under the hood. But over here, this guy that they got working on it, he's kind of freaking me out a little bit. Now this is really cool. This is a Pontiac Trans Am that was part of the Catoosa County Sheriff's Office back in the late 70s and early 80s. These cars were lettered, and they were legitimately police cars back in the day. There was a handful of these things built. I think there was 12 of them total. And this one has been restored beautifully. They've got it on display here with the Catoosa County Sheriff's Office. This car gets a lot of attention because there's so many stories about these old cars from back in the day. Now this thing looks like it came straight out of the 80s. This is actually a mid-70s Corvette, but you can see a lot of these 80s style modifications like the sunk-in headlights replacing the flip-up headlights, L88 style hood scoop. It's got ground effects on it, and you can see under the hood it's got 80s style Edelbrock equipment. Inside it's got the factory type interior. You can see a spoiler on the back. The wheel and tire combination with slotted mags and white letter tires. Everything about this car looks like it belongs in the 1980s. Here we got another drag car, this time a Chevy Corvair, and I love the idea of taking one of these little Chevrolet cars that originally had the engine in the back and making it into a drag car. These things are cool looking, they're lightweight, and this one obviously has a tube chassis under it, full roll cage. You can see that transmission just sitting right there, built power glide. This thing obviously makes good horsepower. It's a lightweight car, and it's got a pretty cool look to it with the red interior, red roll cage, and red stripes on the outside to kind of tie it all together. Here we got another one for the Mopar guys, and we've got the monster 426 Hemi. This is the ultimate muscle car combination, and this thing is all black and all business. Black on the outside, black in the interior, black steel wheels with dog dish caps, and then the red line tires are the perfect thing to finish it off. Now, I love a good pro street build, but this thing might be a little too much for me. This is a 58 Chevrolet two-door post, which is a really neat combination, but when you get around to the front of this car, it's just a little much. But I had to show it to you guys because this thing is just too crazy to walk past and not talk about this triple stacked blower combination. It's a big block Chevy. It has 3 polished 671 blowers that are all tied together with custom pulley setups, 2 big carburetors, and a big giant scoop on top of that. But the really crazy thing was sitting next to it, a 63 Corvette split window coupe. This thing's got a Pro Mod body. It's got sheet metal wing, big wheelie bars, and a parachute. It's wild, it's crazy. Big tires on the back, of course. But when you get up to the front, again, we're talking about crazy wow factor, and this is just way too over the top for me, but it had a crowd around it all weekend long. Another crazy big block Chevy, and this time with 5 polished blowers on it, 2 with 2 stacked on top of that, with another one stacked on top of that, 2 big carburetors, and a big scoop on top of that. This thing was like 7 feet tall, way too much for me, but it was definitely a conversation piece for everybody who walked through the Chattanooga World of Wheels.